And now we want to bring in Matt Sapala, otherwise known as the Money Guy, to talk more about this outlook on unemployment. Good to have you back. Thanks for your time tonight. What was your main takeaway from the report? Trying to get a sense of kind of what industries are up and which ones obviously fell way short of expectations here.
Sure. If you're looking at the industries most affected by COVID, it was the airline industry, leisure, hospitality, auto parts and equipment were down. Most affected restaurants were down. Now that we're seeing these jobs come out, to see that leisure and hospitality industry up 331,000 jobs, it's good to see that. But, I was just having dinner. So oftentimes you see these numbers, and common sense sometimes has a way of creeping in. Went to a restaurant the other day, and we were looking for servers to service. I mean, it was a well-to-do type of restaurant, and the manager says, we just can't find servers to work with us.
Well, I know there's this debate going on right now. Is the shortage of jobs or shortage of workers? Kind of which way does it go? How do you see that?
Listen, I'm looking at the data. If we looked on the unemployment website, it's, do I want a boss or do I deal with my unemployment benefits? Because the maximum benefits for a single person, which equates to about $3,136 per month. And if you have those unemployment benefits, that's equivalent to about $18 an hour. Now, if you are with dependents, that goes up to $3,876 a month. That equates to about $22 an hour. So people just might be waiting on the sideline and say, you know what, let me wait for the next opportunity to come in. If it's not paying me more than this for the time being, let me wait on taking a job. Because it's only a month ago that we saw so many people traveling for spring break. People want to get out. People want to connect. People want to socialize. But to go back to work, they're taking a quick pause at it.
Right. And that's a talking point on the right, that people rather get their unemployment benefits than look for work. And there's a lot of debate. I was reading an analysis today that suggested that obviously this has been a life-altering event, and some people are just thinking about how and when they want to go back. Childcare is still tough. Schools are not open. They want something different than the job they had before. It's a very complicated dynamic. It certainly is not as simple as seeing, well, I'm getting my check now, I'm not going back to work. Post-COVID-19 life is a little more complicated than that, right?
Yeah, and I think sometimes people too, there's a safety concern. People aren't getting the vaccine. That's a safety concern. Do I want to go back around people and bring that back home to my elderly parents if people aren't getting vaccinated? And we have this lack of getting this herd immunity up to what it was, 88%, 89%, getting up to the herd immunity type status if people aren't getting the vaccine. So there's some concerns there too as well. I just heard Papa John's saying, hey, listen, but we got 10,000 jobs we're willing to offer today. Please apply at Papa John's. Nobody is coming in though.
And some good news, some highlights in there. Air travel, certainly back up. Spending at restaurants, hotels, and bars, that's looking up. New unemployment claims are falling. That's certainly good news. Read some Wall Street analysis today that kind of said this is more of an anomaly, a weird month, because all the general signs are pretty positive. The bigger picture's okay. It's just that April, 1 month, fell way short. Do you think that's true?
A couple of data points there. 750,000 labor force numbers jobs are back up. So 750,000 jobs are back up in terms of inclusion to the labor force. And also the capacity for people to say, you know what, this might be an opportunity for the main numbers to show the result that people were expecting in April. So that number we'll pay attention to as the weeks go by and a new month comes up.
And we lost 22 million jobs in the course of the pandemic, and we're still about 8 in the hole. Realistically, what do you think the time frame is for when we're not made whole or fully back, but when things feel far different than they do today? You think by the end of the year?
I think mid-year. I think we're seeing right now, like here in Chicago, the festivals are open back up again. Chicago wants to be fully open. I think July is when Las Vegas is going to be 75% open again. We're having a company convention in August there at the MGM Grand Arena. So there's a lot of things that are looking very exciting as the summer months roll up. And if this whole thing about COVID does not affect a lot of people during summer, because people got vitamin D now, the sun's out, it's warm. We'll see how that translates here in the summertime, but I expect to see lots of people want to get back, want to connect. I think the confidence is skyrocketing, the fear is starting to subside. Our people are starting to educate and understand this outbreak, this pandemic a little bit better. And I think people are boosting their immune system and hopefully taking better care of their bodies.
It's a big hole that COVID left us, and it will be a slow climb out of it. But certainly some encouraging signs out there. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time as always.
Thanks for having me as always.